Allulose sounds like a dream come true. It tastes like sugar, has 0 calories, no blood sugar spike. But does it really hold up if you've had bariatric surgery or you use GLP-1s? Or is it just another sweet talking scam? Stay right here with me. Today, we're diving into the science, the side effects, and the truth that no influencer is going to tell you about allulose.
Say goodbye to chalky calcium chews. ProCare Health makes chews that are creamy, not gritty, and packed with food-based TrueCal for superior absorption. Now available in peaches and cream. And yes, it tastes as good as it sounds. Save 10% with code BSS10 at procarenow.com.
I'm bariatric dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell. You're listening to the Bariatric Surgery Success podcast. I'm so glad you're here today. I hope you're having a great summer. It matters where you get your nutrition information. Here's what you need to know now. Allulose is a sugar substitute. Also goes by the name D-cyclose. And often you will see this sugar substitute on a label. So I want you to be aware of both names. It's classified as a rare sugar because it's only found naturally in a few foods, including raisins, figs, and molasses. Allulose has about 70% of the sweetness of table sugar, which is also similar to erythritol, and nearly 0 calories. Allulose doesn't increase blood glucose or insulin levels. Well, this is relevant to you after surgery, especially with a sleeve gastrectomy or gastric bypass, or if you use GLP-1s, since you can be sensitive to glucose fluctuations. No effect on blood glucose is also a plus if you have diabetes. So this means allulose doesn't contribute to your carb count. It allows you to enjoy the sweetness without sabotaging your results. Since you're watching portions and ultimately calories, allulose provides sweetness without the caloric burden of sugar. So what happens to allulose when you eat it? About 70% is absorbed in the small intestine and excreted in the urine. It's very little reaching the colon. So you're thinking, well, why do I care? Why does that matter? It matters to you because this minimizes fermentation. So it tends to cause less gas and less bloating than sugar alcohols, for example. Allulose does tend to behave like sugar when it's heated, so it works fairly well in baking, and it gives a similar texture and browning effect. Quite a few pros, but what about the cons and side effects? You know me, we've always got to look at both sides of the coin before you make a decision. Individual tolerance varies. So what I want you to do if you decide to try it is start off with a small amount. I want you to find out if you have any gastrointestinal upset. What that means is at higher doses, the more you have of it, the more likely you will have bloating, gas, and loose stools. So if you start with a small amount, notice if any of these happen. Do you become bloated? Are you getting gas? Are your stools changing? So be aware, and your body will let you know if you're sensitive to it. Allulose is relatively new in the sweetener arena, so there isn't much long-term safety data yet. Plus, it can be expensive. So how much do you use? If you want to try it and give it a start, you start with 5 grams or less at a time. Now, that's about a teaspoon. Then assess your tolerance. You're going to see allulose already added in beverages, sauces, baked goods, and often blended with a monk fruit or stevia to get a taste balance. So be a label sleuth. Remember, look at that nutrition facts label, the ingredient list here in the United States, and where you are in your country, refer to your nutrition label information and find out if allulose is in the product by itself or has it been blended in with other sweeteners. Now, I want to talk about the fake science too. There are a lot of what I call pseudoscience claims that you're going to see online about allulose. The first claim, allulose is so natural, so it's automatically healthy. Well, the truth is, yes, it is found in figs and raisins, so that does make it natural. But commercial allulose is processed from the fructose in corn. Remember that in the United States, the word natural has no legal definition. Did you catch that? In the United States, the word natural has no legal definition. So natural means whatever you want it to mean. Claim number 2, no gastrointestinal issues with any amount with allulose. The truth, the data shows that the more you consume, the more likely you will experience bloating, gas, and loose stools that we talked about earlier. So remember, how much do you start with? 5 grams or less at a time. That's about a teaspoon. And then assess how your body does with that. Claim number 3. Well, you can eat as much of it as you want. It's natural and doesn't cause any upset. Truth, marketing, fluff. Remember, overconsumption, too much, and too much varies person to person, causes diarrhea, gas, and discomfort, especially for sensitive post-op guts or for GLP-1s because they have slowed the movement of food through your system. And claim number 4, allulose is better than all other sweeteners. Truth, it has advantages, like we said. Basically, no calories, doesn't increase your blood glucose, but stevia, erythritol, or even sugar in very small amounts may be tolerated better or more affordable. So here's what I want you to think about this week. If you're multitasking, come back to me. Allulose, yes, another option in the sugar substitute arena. Each one has its pros, each one has its cons. If you choose to use sugar alternatives, always start slowly. See how you feel. If you're buying a product that contains sugar substitutes, be sure and read the nutrition facts label and the ingredient label. See if it's combined with other products. Remember, many food products do combine sugar substitutes, several of them, like monk food, for example, in with allulose. You and your health are worth it.
Bariatric Surgery Success with dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell is produced and owned by Practicalories, LLC. All rights reserved. Remember, the content provided on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't create a patient-provider relationship. It's intended to provide reference material and is not designed to provide medical advice. Please consult your healthcare provider regarding any medical issues you have relating to symptoms, conditions, diseases, diagnosis, treatments, and side effects. Podcast guests express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions which do not necessarily reflect or agree with the host, Dr. Susan Mitchell or Practicalories, LLC.